Okay, so this is a test for live stream. There we are. Okay. I think everything is working well, so yes it is. So anyways, I'm gonna post this link. Gonna start getting people in. Da 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 da. That's not what the heck? I'm not sure why. There are things going on. Anyways, I'm gonna have to figure out how to get more people into the stream because I do not know the link to this. Video link. There we are. That's what I was looking for. All right, here we go. Streaming now. So yeah. Anyways, so this is gonna be a chill stream for tonight mostly. I'm so green to streaming, so please excuse my my greenness towards streaming. So what I am going to do is I'm going to plan to stream for a couple of hours. Let's get that started now. Anyways, oh look, we already have a couple of people joining in, as I can see. Yeah, third time's a charm. Yay, everyone's there. Cheese whiz, alright. You know what, let's start getting in some music. Well, first, let me post this on Twitter, because everybody loves Twitter, am I right? Yeah, I don't know. Da 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 da. So, funny thing about today, I'm coming off of about 5 hours of sleep from the start of my shift today. I had to open up at work today, so I had to open up at 5:30 at Lowe's. So I work in the paint department at Lowe's, and I got home late last night at about a little bit just shy of midnight. And actually, I think it was about midnight, but I didn't go to sleep until like 12:30ish. So maybe about 4 hours of sleep. But I mean, the plane. I do sleep on the plane, so it does counter that. So, anyways, let's get back to the main window, and let's get some music on, so you're not entirely bored. But anyways, hopefully that's a good level for you guys. Well, yeah. So, what should we start with today? Today at work, it was pretty nice. Oh, tax pony. Oh, I see. Yeah, you know what? I did hear about that. I did hear that you couldn't go, so that was a shame. I hope you're doing better, buddy. Hope you are recovering. Yeah, Lightning Bolt has already been. Oh yeah, I did remember seeing you there. It was nice meeting you too. So yes, this is a third time's a charm type of stream. So, anyways, hope we get some more people joining in. But yeah, so can we make requests? What do you want to request? Request songs? I don't know. I was just gonna play most of my music because I don't want YouTube to take this video down or do any of that kind of stuff by playing copywritten music. Oh, you're so edgy there. Ho ho ho. But whatever. But yeah, so I got home late last night. So I guess we could start with leaving to go to Everfree. So I left on Thursday. What is it? Flight was like, I think it was like 12 o'clock or some sort. And what is it? yeah, I flew into Everfree. I actually got in there surprisingly earlier than I thought. So that was. Am I returning on next year? Yes, I am planning on doing that. You're already planning on it too. Awesome. Yeah, that's my biggest plan to do is to go to Everfree next year. Whatever things go on, but for now, that's what I'm planning for. Be a Wonderboy by Prince Whatever, but you're good anyway. Yeah, that's a good song. I don't know if you could tell. The massive Wonderbolts flag over here. This is actually something. Actually, why don't we start with that? Why don't we talk about merchandise that I bought? I'm actually pretty minimalist, I guess you could say. Cause I didn't really spend money on merchandise all too much. I did do it a little bit, but I didn't end up buying that much merch. Hello, cartoons. How you doing? Thanks for joining the stream. I don't think we've met before, but hello. So, yeah. So, first bit of merch is this. I don't know if you can see that. It's a challenge coin. This challenge coin was given to me by Sun Chaser. I don't know if you're watching this, but if you are, hello there. And it is a Yankee Brigade Studios challenge coin. As you can see, it has the emblem on the front, and then it has the Equestria Royal Navy, or Royal Guard, on the back. So I think that was pretty nice. So, other merch. I have HarmonyCon 2022. They had their merch table like right outside the vendor hall, so I went out over there and chilled. But I picked up a pin because I love pins. As a matter of fact, I think that can go into the worthy pin, pin bucket, I guess you could say. I store all my pins in here, but I can't fit this one in. Oh, actually, I do have some more pins over here, so here's some of the other pins that I got. I only got 4 pins, but I think it's pretty obvious which ones I got. This one just makes me laugh for some reason. So I got Applejack here, and I dropped it because I'm stupid. Of course, you got Spitfire because I love Spitfire. And got more AJ. And then, of course, I got this really cute Tempest. And I think all these are Andy Price prints. So, those are all going in the bucket. In fact, I think I'm going to take off my headphones because I'm just going to run the music through and, I don't know. I'll just run the music through and I'll just chill from here. But yeah, so there's all the pins that I got, those 4. Surprisingly, there was a lot of free merch that I got. And what I mean by free is people would just set this stuff out on, like, the middle of the floor. Like, literally on day 1 on the convention. I was in what they call the, I think it was it was called the Winter Garden or some sort. And the venue is massive. It was huge because it had like this mall attached to another mall across the street on like a skyway attached to another mall. So it was like a mall inside of a mall, or a hotel inside of a mall, I guess you could say. So, hey, Drake, I see you there, man. How you doing? It's good seeing you. Thanks for stopping by to the stream. So yeah. But yeah, back to what I was saying. So I got like this, I just saw this merchandise sitting out on this random table. Now, I can't move my camera right now because I'm afraid I might unplug it, but over there, I got this really cute Applejack print, or Applejack and Rainbow Dash print. And it is literally Applejack, or Rainbow Dash wearing Applejack's hat. It's actually really adorable. So, that was cute. And then the second free piece of merch, this one's interesting. I have no place for it at the moment, but I got a free figure from the My Little Pony movie. This is actually, I picked this up at the Harmony Con room right after the con ended. And it was just like sitting under a little coffee table, and I was like, is this anyone's? And can I take it? And he's like, sure. And people were like, they didn't know, so it's mine now. That's what it is. Of course, it's Rainbow Dash always dressing in style. So, oh, by the way, speaking of that print, the print that's on the wall it also came with this. I believe these are IDW prints. And I don't know who the signature is from, but it's signed. So there's like a adaptation of a previous generation, and then there's the current generation, or G4. So I thought that was neat. So yeah, I don't know where to put that. I'll just put it in here for now. But that's just really... So that's like the free stuff I got. And what was it? What is some of the... So obviously the massive Wonderbolts flag. That's one of the... That's like literally the only thing that I really paid merchandise for. But there was another important thing that I got from, I believe it was Saturday. And this is very important. It's a very important piece of gear for those who checked out my gear log on my card page. There's a very important piece of gear that goes to my drum kit. And I'm going to turn the camera. Or at least get some of it in the scene. She is finally here. She is finally here. Isn't she adorable? She is so adorable. This little beanie plush, I guess you could call it, was made by Hibiscus Stitch. And there's a funny story about this, because I ordered this plush back in like early May. Like, it was during the UK PonyCon line. And the order took very long to process for some reason. And I know that Hibiscus has a lot of orders, a lot of commissions to get done. And so I can respect that. But I was like, am I going to get like a confirmation? So I go up to her at one of her tables, and I messaged her formally. So not like she didn't expect what was coming, but yeah, so I just chatted with her saying like, hey, I processed an order of a little Octavia plushie. And she's like, oh yeah, I remember you now. So, and she said, I have the material to make one tonight so I could give it to you tomorrow. I was like, well, sure, sign me up. That's not exactly what I said. But yeah, so she basically made it for me overnight, and she is now here. And she deserves a worthy place on the bass drum. So I can finally call the drum set the Octavia kit. So, because it's silver. So the only gray-coated mare that I know that I really like is Octavia, and she matches the shells. So, Octavia kit it is. But yeah. So, let's see. Showing off your loot. Yes, I'm basically showing off my loot. I am basically showing off my loot. But yeah, so that's like pretty much all the merch really I got received at HarmonyCon. I got to figure out what to do with this pin though. Aha! There's another important thing. This is actually one thing that was something that I missed. So, every horse con that I go to, I always take this lanyard. And I've had this lanyard since before I even went to my first con. It was 2017 when I bought this. And it's seen better days. It's like all gross and grimy, but it's still holding together. But it's a My Little Pony movie lanyard. I don't know if you could tell from that or from the artwork, but it had all these pins. Yes, it has Sorna's best pony, even though Applejack's my favorite pony, so I'll keep that a little bit of a secret. But, yeah, it has all my badges. So, like, the last one in person was HarmonyCon, and then Ciderfest, BronyCon, yada, yada, yada. So, I forgot that before I went, or before I left the house, or when I left the house. So, I didn't notice when I got to the airport. I was like, oh, no, I forgot my con badge. Or my lanyard. So, that was definitely something. But yeah, so what I am going to do now is get the actual lanyard from my backpack, which I have still not unloaded. And we'll just have at it. Oh yeah, so here it is. So here is my badge. See that? Also put a sticker on the back of it because I was passing out stickers. This is actually the first con where I started passing around my own merchandise. Well, I didn't really sell because I can't really sell. Well, I can't officially sell, but I did indeed sell all the CDs that I brought with me of Escape. So I only brought 4, so now I've sold 10 I sold 10 CDs now. And which is great. I'm happy that people were interested in my music. So for all the people who are watching this right now, thank you for considering my music. And hopefully you enjoy it. But anyways, so I'm going to take this off this lanyard and put it on the other lanyard, which is something that I am oh, no, it came off. So put this on here. So I guess we could recap or start rolling into what went on during most of the days at HarmonyCon. Or, no, HarmonyCon. Everfree Northwest. Mistake number 1. Remember what con you went to. There we go. That looks better, doesn't it? Also, I left a little tag that I got vaccinated because most of those people were. That's one of the things that they offered if you showed a proof of vaccination, which is nice. I'm going to need one of those stickers. You can actually purchase one of those stickers on my Jeez, my mind just went blank. Oh yeah, my Teespring. There is a listing on my Teespring page. So there's of the Whirlwind word mark, and as well as the emblem. I only have, well, let's see. I have the word mark. Well, actually, I still have my bag of stickers right here. Yeah, there they are. So that's basically all the stuff that I bought. So there's the Tornado logo, or the Whirlwind Studios logo. So yeah. And also I posted this on Twitter, I think. No, I posted it to a couple people in Discord. But I got the Whirlwind Studios new business card. Blake Narge, HarmonyCon, you drunk? I'm not drunk. No, actually, no. This, okay, we got to flash forward to this. This is actually something. Sunday night, post-con celebration. For the first time. For the first time, I actually would consider myself, for the first time, I would consider myself that I got seriously drunk. Well, not seriously drunk, but, I mean, I was fairly drunk. And I went to the BabsCon party room that they had on the 3rd floor. And one of the people, I think it was Fiara, that was making the drinks, as she normally does. And I decided to try 3 of the drinks. There was the Big Mac, and I was with my friend Freedom, Dr. Freedom. He's a fellow drummer friend of mine. And we went up there. We chilled for a little bit. There's quite a few people in there. And I tried out the Big Macintosh, which is basically, I think it was whiskey with a little bit of apple juice in it. So it's basically like a blend. And it was basically like everything that was, it basically was everything bad about whiskey, but it made it better. It was still pretty strong. So I drank that. And then the second drink I drank, and this was the one that really screwed me up, is the Rainbow Dash. I think, and I couldn't remember what the blend was in it, but it was, I think it was vodka mixed with, it was vodka mixed with lemon lime soda. And then there was a couple of other things I was mixed with. I couldn't remember what the other things were, but it smelled like ass. It smelled like pure ass. It literally smelled like the cheapo hand sanitizer that you find at like grocery stores. Not like the Purell that isn't the Purell brand, the off-brand ones, the ones that smell like crap. So I drank it and I was like, oh gosh. Well, it didn't taste that bad, but it smelled really bad. It's one of those things that tasted good, but it smelled bad. And yes, I see that comment there, Tax. Yes, I am a lightweight. So I drank that, and then the third drink. So by this point, I was starting to get a buzz on me. And the third drink that I drank was the Applejack, and it was very similar to the Big Mac. But instead of whiskey, it was clear cider mixed with spices and apple juice. And someone else in the room, I can't remember who it was, there was, if you did a blend of Applejack and the Big Mac, it would have been called the incest. I didn't end up trying that, but I just stuck with the Applejack. So that's third drink. And that was really enough for me. And I started getting really buzzed at that point. And by like 20 minutes later, I started feeling nauseous, so I started drinking a little bit of water. And by this time, I was in the Harmony Con room, and I was like probably the most laid back you've probably ever seen me. Blake Narsh. He had half a cider at my place. I'm done. Yes, I did. I did. I was an extreme lightweight at your place, Lightning. Thanks for noting that. So, yes. Well, I'm just put all that crap right there. So, yeah. So that was basically my experience of being drunk. And when I woke up, woke up in the morning. I had a minor hangover. It wasn't too bad. I can't even say it's a hangover, because all I did was I just felt nauseous and I threw up like twice, and that's about it. That's like baby hangover, okay? For me, it's something I haven't experienced. So, baby steps. You can call me a baby all you want. Wee! So, yes. So that was Sunday night. And I didn't have to do I didn't have to leave the room or check out until like 12 o'clock, because Derek and Dan, or Blazing Current, they were the ones who booked the room. And they booked it from Wednesday all the way till 12 o'clock on Monday. So that's what we did. Yeah, so that was basically hashtag I cry every time. Wee, wee. You get the joke. Yeah. So that was fun. What else was there? Oh yeah, I guess we could start talking about the concert. because I did quite a bit during the concert, especially on Friday night. On the concert night, I didn't do anything significant during the concert. I'm pretty sure most of you guys who watched the live stream realize I wasn't playing drums. It was Drummer Shy. It was his gig. He played for Loudsdale, and I think he did on one song for Everfree Brony. So, however, I did end up being his drum tech. So the previous night we went up to the third floor in the other tower. It was in where the Renegade stage was, which I'll get into in a little bit because I did perform on the Renegade stage, and we open up the kit or open up the cases where the drum kit was in, and Drummer Shy's all excited, and we started basically assembling it piece by piece. It had like a little 20-inch kick. It was a Yamaha Stage Custom. Really nice Stage Custom, by the way, even though it's a Stage Custom. But we started putting it together piece by piece. He's a right-handed player, so I kind of adapted to his setup, and I just started tuning things. It was me, Wootmaster, and Drummer Shy, and I think Freedom was in the room too. So we just started tuning and setting it up, and that's what we did. And on Friday night, that was basically where I did most of the work throughout the con, really. That was where, so it was like he brought so much stuff, and he brought so much stuff for his kit. So we had like 4 other people help bring down the kit down the elevator, and we had to set it up backstage, and that was a whole nightmare. So we started putting it together piece by piece, and when it came to sound check, it was easy to put up during sound check, and then I ended up patching in most of the microphones to the drum kit, to guitars, and I believe vocals. So I patched in most of the inputs from the microphones. And sound check, oh my god, sound check was annoyingly long. Sound check was very, very dreadful. There was lots of things that weren't sending through. We had trouble sending through getting signal from Melody Brony's IEMs. We also had more issues running into monitor mixes. Oh my god, the monitor mixes were an absolute nightmare this whole concert. So, and I don't know what it was about Drummer Shy. Nothing bad about Drummer Shy here, but he plays so loud and so hard. And the drums in the room, there was a weird room setup. It wasn't like a rectangular room that you would normally have in a venue. It was in a complete square, so all the sound was traveling back at like almost the exact same volume, and it wasn't a treated room. And yeah, it was extremely loud drum set. So everyone was like, I can't hear anything, and Drummer Shy is like, he's hauling ass behind the drum set. So, but it is what it is. The concert was pretty good. Let me open up the chat. It says, I can only imagine how Nora was. So, my dude, tell us about the vibe of the con. Was it really emotional? Were there filtered hugs? The vibe of the con. There was a lot of good vibes throughout the con. Obviously, not seeing some friends I haven't seen in almost a whole year was really nice. So, like Luck Rock, Melody, which, by the way, hello, Melody. You joined the chat, and thank you for joining the stream. All you can hear at front of house was drums, vocals, and maybe some guitar. LMAO. I wasn't at front of... I never really tested that. I didn't really go out during the concert, during the Loudsdale set. I did during your set, and the mix was totally fine because you just ran tracks. But sitting behind stage when the full band was playing, it was really loud. So, yeah. So by the time what else was I talking about? Oh yeah, so the vibe of the con, there were a lot of good vibes during the con. yeah, so meeting some friends that I haven't seen in a while, I think that was really nice. There was also just being around in a new venue for Everfree Northwest was just really neat. So there was a lot of things to adapt to. So I was like, I think like most of the con, I really wasn't doing much around like going to panels, so to speak. I was just exploring the city of Bellevue because it's like a really nice city. It's like everything good about Seattle, or everything that Seattle wishes it could be. Because there was like it was like such a clean city. There was like all these rich people driving fancy cars and pulling up like literally across the street or across where the drop off and pickup zone. There was like Lamborghinis and McLarens and Rolls Royces, all these fancy cars. So I was like, bro, it's like this is insane. It's like rich BronyCon. That was really kind of the vibe. Is like rich BronyCon. even though there really isn't that much glitz and glamour towards watching a TV show about pastel colored horses, or is there? I don't know. I don't know if there really is. So yeah, I think that was basically the vibe throughout the con. And for me personally, there was like on Sunday and Monday in particular, that was like the days I did a lot more of exploring throughout the city the most. I did on Sunday, I actually went down to what was it? I went down to West Coast Drum Shop, which is something that I've been wanting to do for quite a long time because there was a YouTube video that I saw about Don Bennett and how he collected all these big name drummers' drum sets. And like he had kits from Frankie Brunelli of Quiet Riot, Elvin Jones, to Vinny Colaiuta. He had one of his recording customs from the 80s, which I think was super neat. And he actually had that on display. If some of you people follow me on Twitter or Instagram, I posted a little, like a photo thread of my visit to West Coast Drum Shop. And I even got to meet some of the people who were at the shop, Will Andrews, who I got to know pretty well. And I unexpectedly got to see Rudy Simmons, who is the owner to Rudy's Drum Shop. And so the backstory to West Coast Drum Shop is that it used to be called Rudy's Drum Shop for the past 30 years. And during, I think it had to have been about like 3 or 4 years ago, the shop closed as Rudy's Drum Shop, and it moved across the street. So Rudy took his business, and he was kind of going to semi-retirement because he started doing, he was starting to make a good income in doing real estate, which I thought was cool. But the people who were on board with Rudy's Drum Set wanted to, or Rudy's Drum Shop, wanted to basically reconfigure the building and open up as their own drum shop. So it opened up as West Coast Drum Shop, I believe 2019. And, or I don't know. I can't remember when it reopened. But long story short, Rudy Simmons closed Rudy's Drum Shop, the one that he opened across the street, literally, and I'm not joking, like he literally closed it, like turned the key, and that was it, like 2 weeks ago, I believe. So he unexpectedly visited West Coast Drum Shop, and I got to know him a little bit more. And coming from Fresno, there's Bentley's Drum Shop, which is a pretty a drum shop that a lot of people wanted to go and visit because it's got it's been really well known. I mean, Dana Bentley's been running Bentley's for about 30 years now, but he was telling me that he was about ready to go down to Bentley's Drum Shop in Fresno because he wanted to check out the shop, but he had some other things that fell in line with, I think, his new job in real estate. So, but it was cool. So, yeah, it was really neat going to the drum shop, which, by the way, I did end up buying something, by the way. And this is what I ended up buying, and this is probably what I'm going to put in my practice sessions I'm gonna like really dig into this. It is the infamous Gary Chester's New Breed. So I've been starting to really, I've been getting into sight reading a lot better, and I'm trying to encourage myself to sight read. And one of the biggest things or exciting things about sight reading is you get to read all your favorite drum books or all the best drum books that most drummers that we all inspire practice from. So Gary Chester's New Breed is an advanced drummer's book. And if you can read the description here, systems for the development of your own creativity. So this book focuses a lot on independence, from what I've heard. Using all four limbs and trying to add different voices to each limb that you play. So that's going to be a fun thing to practice. I'm probably going to get a good kick out of that. So that's going to go over... Well, I'll put this over here for now. So, Gary Chester's New Breed. A lot of drummers that I look up to, I think, learned off New Breed. I believe the late Sean Reinert learned off New Breed. Vinnie Colaiuta, Gary Husband. I think most of these advanced drummers learned from New Breed or read New Breed at some point. So, I'm going to dig into it. This is going to be pretty fun. All right, let's take a look at the chat again. We have friendship is tragic. I keep meaning to say that at the hotel, but it's so expensive. You know, I still got to work out all the rates for the the money pool for what is it? The hotel and the ride share hasn't been sorted out yet. So I think when Derek or Dan, who booked the room, once they get that sorted out, I guess I can start paying right there. I have a phobia of suffocation, so this one wouldn't have been good for me to go since wearing masks were mandatory without exception. Okay, so hot take. The mask mandate. Honestly, yeah, it was annoying. I think wearing the mask was pretty annoying, even though that about 90% of all the con goers were vaccinated, or at least that's what I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. So the mask wearing thing, it really wasn't all too big deal for me. It was annoying, but I didn't really run into any problems to people like throwing the book at you for like taking off your mask or something like that. So I couldn't really judge anyone for that. But really, the only places where I went in wearing a mask was really during the main event hall or main hall, the vendor hall, really anywhere where there was convention space. Everywhere else, I didn't really bother wearing a mask because, I mean, it was always even in the city of Bellevue, it was still a recommendation at that point. They didn't even list a mandate towards to the city that you have to that it's a law to wear a mask. So I don't know. I just had to ride with it. It was annoying, but it didn't really. I think that was one of the things that I was like pretty weary about, like going into the con. I was like, oh man, it's not gonna be fun wearing a mask. But at the time, it didn't really end up being that bad for me. For me personally, at least. Let's see in the chat. I am surprised Drummer Shy was not there with you for that place. Sight reading is difficult, fun, and scary, especially when you nail a difficult lick for the first time. Yes. Sight reading can be pretty difficult at some points, but to me, it's just like learning another language. Like, when you get into the groove, I mean, it's really just like learning anything, to be honest. Once you get the hang of it, and you start getting used to the language of sight reading, and then you start learning a little bit more, and then it would be easier to sight read. So, and another drummer that I guess you could say got me inspired to pick up sight reading is Travis Orban. who is a fantastic session drummer. I don't know if you've seen some of his videos, but I would definitely recommend giving them a watch. But every single recording session that he does, he always has a chart in front of him, and he sight reads. He has his eyes glued to the chart like this. Like just no, he is like an absolute drum machine, and he just reads the chart, reads everything note for note. Well, almost everything note for note. But yeah, it's ridiculous how drummers can basically enhance their playing from sight reading. So I think that was really interesting. So that's kind of what's inspiring me to pick it up. Washington State has one of the highest vaccination rates, and King County is over 80%. Now that's something I didn't really do any research into, like the vaccination rates, because I don't know. I don't really go on the news to research like all the vaccination rates or any of that kind of stuff. Excuse me. Let's see. So what was the other? Oh, okay. I got something to talk about. I'm pretty sure everyone who followed Everfree Northwest on social media realized that there was a bit of an incident on Saturday night during the concert. I think some of you people know where I'm going. Why the heck was there an evacuation at the event? And why the heck was there first responders there, like fire trucks and stuff? Why did the fire alarm go off? So that was a interesting experience. That really was like a extra 30, 40 minutes added. So to go through the whole story through my experience, this is how it went. It was like Black Griffin was playing on stage. I couldn't remember what song he was going into. It was like the fourth or fifth song in his set. And I was standing right outside the middle of the floor, so right where the tables are at. Remember, it's the Grand Galloping Gallows tables that's around the dance floor. So, and while I'm standing there in the crowd, all of a sudden I just see flashes of lights. Not to be confused with the lights that are at the front of the stage, but there were flashes of lights, like flashing lights on the ceiling. And I was like, not joking, this was literally my first response. It was like my first response was like, "Hey, that's a pretty cool effect of the lighting board." I'm not making that up. That's literally what I thought. And then like 10 seconds later, I heard the alarm go off, and I was like, yeah, it's pretty apparent now. I think I know what's going on. I was like, is that alarm like from a loudspeaker or something, or is it like the fire alarm? So then I realized it wasn't someone triggering an alarm. It was actually the fire alarm. And then like literally 5 seconds later after I discovered that, front of house stops the tracks, and they basically say that there's a unexpected fire alarm going off in the building. Please go to the exit, and we're going to leave the building, basically. So I go down the stairwell that goes out to the side of the street, and it was me and Do the Daring Do, and it was me, Dewey, and Nev, and I ended up meeting with Cody, electronics freak. He's one of the lighting guys. So we were down there, and we were still like questioning like what was going on. And I remember someone saying like, I swear, if someone pulled the fire alarm, good job, because look what's happened. So that was like our quote-unquote worst-case scenario, was like someone pulled the fire, accidentally mistriggered the fire alarm or pulled down the fire alarm or stuff. But as it turns out, it wasn't that. And while we were standing outside, and it was kind of warm outside, but like it didn't take that long for the first responders to get there at all. It was like not even like 10 minutes. So they got there like super quick, which is great. So that means we could get in faster. But we were standing outside, and the fire truck rolls past by. We had two fire. So there were two evacuation points. There was one at the main entrance, and then there was one at the back. So I was at the back, and I'm standing there, and that was basically where I started posting stuff on social media, like, okay, everything, fire alarms went off. We don't know what happened. And we are also getting, on a side note, another thing that we were questioning is like, this is getting like HarmonyCon 2029 or 2019 vibes. Because for those who didn't go to HarmonyCon, I didn't go myself, but that was the year they got swatted. So to some people, they can probably have some triggers of that. So that was kind of a worrying factor. But so we were standing out there. I was with Cody most of the time because we started walking around. We were about ready to walk around to the perimeter to the front. And right as we get to the second fire engine, we see one of the fire engines leave off, but there's a second fire engine. And one of the firefighters says, like literally right as we were going out there, he opens the door and he says, "Okay, everyone, the building is clear to re-enter." And that's basically what he said. So we all re-entered, and that was basically that. So we all go up and line back up at the main hall or the main event, at main stage. And for AV crew, they had turned everything off, turned all the lights off, all the sound system off. Well, I think they kept the sound system on, but they kept I think they kept some of the cameras rolling, but they didn't send it to the live feed. So that was something that Blazing told me about. So we line up for like another 10 minutes, and we get back in. So everyone starts going back into main stage, and it didn't take it was like another 10 minutes for Simmel to come back up and address what was the problem. And the real problem, when he came up, like the main culprit of why the fire alarms went off on the bottom 3 floors, was in the 13 Coins restaurant. It was near where the lobby is, on the other side of the building. They were doing construction work, and apparently they were doing some construction work, and it hit like a fire extinguishing system or something like that, which basically triggered the fire alarms to go off. No one was hurt, no one was injured, so it really wasn't that big of a problem for us to evacuate. So we all went back in. So that was the real thing that happened. So, and then after that, Gabe came back on and the show went on. So that was basically the incident, I guess you could say, or the fire alarm that went off. So let's look in the chat again. Next convention I go to, I will be sure to bring water just in case. Yes, hail hydrate. There were water stations everywhere. As a matter of fact, I'm getting thirsty right now. I can last though. But yeah, so that was basically Saturday night. And then later on that night, after Gabe performed, it was Pegasus came on. Oh wait, no. After Gabe, it was. Gosh, I can't even remember at this point. Gosh, damn it. I can't remember who went on after Gabe. I think it was. I know that Pegasus went on though, and I know that John Kenza went on. John Kenza was the closer, and I was just basically chilling at the table outside of the main event. World farted and set off the fire alarm. Oh my god, no! Stop it, Lightning! I didn't fart. That's not what happened. Let's see. So, that was basically Saturday night. Let's talk about the Renegade stage performance. So, Renegade stage was something that I thought of almost last minute, though I did have plans to do it, because at some point I wanted to do my intention, because I was really looking to perform for Everfree. until I realized that nobody was looking for a drummer, and the only drummer that wanted to play filled up the spot. So I was like, man, that sucks, but it is what it is. But then I realized Wootmaster was bringing his drum set because for his band, he also didn't get the gig. So he basically asked the conchair to see if they can have space for a jam room or for a renegade stage. And that's when Whipmaster and a couple of other people who run Burning Mare decided to do. So he brought all this gear, and he brought his drum set. And now before I went to the con, I was already loading up a Reaper session of tracks that I was going to play along to, like I normally do for my online performances. And so I loaded up. The set list was, I opened up with Apples to the Core, then I went to What My Cutie Mark Is Telling Me. Then I played, what was Bab Seed, Time to Be Awesome, Open Up Your Eyes, The Magic of Friendship Grows. I've not played that song in a while, but it's an easy song. And then I played a new song from my new band called The Faithful by my band Alicore, which is going to release on, we're hoping that it's going to be on ASOS coming pretty soon. So that is something that I wanted to start hyping up and basically showcase some of my current projects that I'm in. And then I played to half of a Car Bomb song. So that's the only non-pony song that I did. It was This Will Do the Job. And I closed it out with Chrissy Nightmare Mode, because who doesn't like Chrissy Nightmare Mode? That's like my biggest legacy as a drummer in the Brony fandom, is the Chrissy Nightmare Mode solo. You get it. So yeah, and that was basically it. So I played on Wootmaster's kit and had to reconfigure the sizes, and Drummer Shy brought in some extra attachments. So he had a China cymbal that I used, and he had an extra crash cymbal that I used, and and he also had these Max stacks, which are pretty cool. They weren't exactly like crash or splash cymbals, but they worked, and they were what I needed to play on. The only thing that was lackluster in the drum kit was the pedals, and I don't know what it is. Drummer Shy, if you're watching this right now, I don't know how the heck you could play on your pedals, because your cam is all completely loose, and it has the worst slapback, or the worst response of any pedal that I've played on in a while or in recent days. So that was kind of annoying. So what I literally did was I played on Wootmaster's pedal, which had felt really good. It was better than Drummer Shy's single pedal that he used. So I took the linkage from that pedal and I linked it to the drive shaft, or linked the drive shaft to the main pedal, and so I can have double pedal. The thing with the double pedal is that it's a Tama double pedal, so the way that it's on how it sits on the drum key, it doesn't fit. So literally it's at the very bottom. The slave pedal's at the very bottom. Like, this is the bottom of the pedal. This is like where the slave pedal would sit. So I'm basically hitting the bottom of the pedal every single time I do, every time I hit the slave pedal. But at the end, I don't care. I really wasn't aiming to be like picture perfect like I normally do for the Drumming is Magic performances that I normally do. I just wanted to have fun and be able to play in front of people. So I had like 8 people show up, something like that. Wootmaster was all crazy. He was like, dude, man, you are so fire around that kit, man. And like, there's my Wootmaster impression. But yeah, so it was really fun, and got to meet Strumbeat Strings after that, because he played after I did, and yeah, it was just a really fun time. So I think that was probably one of the most fun things I did on the trip. But Yeah, that was pretty fun. Um, so that was pretty much Saturday. Let's see. Let's talk a little bit about Monday. After the cons, we talked about me getting drunk, which is something I'm proud of and not proud of, at both at the same time. But after I left the hotel on Monday or checked out, I literally had no idea what I wanted to do, because I could have gone to the airport. My flight was really late. It was coming in at 9:00, and when I got up, or when I booked the flight, and this is true, I thought it said 9 a.m. instead of 9 p.m. So that was a big oopsie moment. But you work around those kind of things. So when we left the hotel, we and I say we because Blazing Current and Derek, or Broken Skies, they checked out of the hotel room. And that was when I met a person who goes by the fandom name of Flight Watch. And he was running con ops. So he wanted to tag along with us because he had a flight that was leaving early in the morning, or late during the day, but he wanted to reschedule the flight till early morning. So he stayed overnight, or he changed his flight so he could stay overnight. So all of us got into Uber, and we drove all the way back down to SeaTac, and we booked a hotel that was literally, actually, I didn't notice this until someone pointed it out. We literally booked the hotel, or a hotel, that was right next to the Crown Plaza, which was formerly the Holiday Inn, where Everfree Northwest 2012 was at. So I thought that was kind of, I didn't realize it at the time, but Flight Watch was telling me that across the street, that that was where they moved their venue in 2014 and 2015, which was at the Hilton. So that was kind of a fun little trivia, I guess you could say. So we drop off our bags in this little hotel, like a one-night stay for Flight Watch. And so we were deciding on two things we could do for the night. We could either go down to the Boeing Museum of Flight, because for Flight Watch, what he does as his main is he does a lot of aircraft repair and aircraft maintenance for the Air Force. And he wanted to look at the Boeing facility and possibly get us into a discount for the Boeing Museum tour, or the Museum of Flight. So he was really cool about doing that. I was super hungry, and the other option was go down to Seattle and go to the fish market. So I think it was all of us that agreed that we were going to go to the museum, because hell, why not? And it was definitely worth it. The museum was totally worth it. It was it was basically the cherry on top of the trip, as I put it on some of my social media. Look in the chat. Hey, Whirl, who's that above your head? Speet. It is Speet, as you can tell. Spitfire. Also, here's a Spitfire in the bag that I didn't end up taking. There's Spitfire. Actually, there you go. Yeah, there's Spitfire. She just fell over. And I also have another Spitfire over there. Another Spitfire figure. So, that was pretty fun. But yeah, continuing on to the trip. So we all went down to the Boeing Museum of Flight, and we go down, and it was like right out of the gate, we already saw some cool sights to see. We saw this little MiG-17 that was out in the parking lot. It's like, this isn't even going in the museum yet. We're already seeing planes. So, and he's like way more into planes than I am. I mean, I've always been into fighter jets, aircraft, and just basic aviation. And so it was kind of cool to re-spark that interest. And yeah, so it was basically like both of us fanboying at that point. I don't know. So we go inside the museum, and what was really interested, or what was really interesting that he wanted to do was go across the street and go to the thing that was called the Aircraft Pavilion, and it had a bunch of aircraft that like retired aircraft. It had the Boeing 747. It had, well, there was quite a few. There was the 747, like old 747. It had an Air Force One. It had like, I think it was the same Air Force One that housed President Eisenhower, Kennedy, Johnson, and Nixon. So, and it was a Boeing 707. So that was freaking cool. And you can most of these aircraft you can walk inside. So you can walk through the fuselage, and you can walk through the cabin. You can see the cockpit, everything. And in the Air Force One, there was literally a president's vacancy in there, so you could see where the president sat. I was like, that's freaking cool. Freaking John F. Kennedy and Eisenhower and all these cool presidents sat there. Like, just think about that. It's pretty neat. So that was yes, Concorde was there. I just saw that comment pop up. I walked through Concorde, my favorite plane looking at growing up, and being able to walk through it. It was a British Airways Concorde, and it was like a super tiny, narrow cabin. Because it was like super narrow to walk through, but it was really cool. I mean, it was so ahead of its time, but it was so costly to maintain, which was basically the downfall of Concorde. But yeah, it was really cool to be able to witness that, because I remember looking at that in like a little, I remember I had like a little plane book when I was a kid, and just seeing the Concorde, it was like a spaceship almost. It really did look like a spaceship. But yeah, very beautiful plane. And right across the way was a very beautiful B-29 Super Fortress, which is one of the most gorgeous bombers of the late World War II and Korean War. So is that. I was alive when those were still in service. Yes, you were. I mean, you're way older than me. I mean, I was a baby when they were still in service, and I think they retired they were stricken from service from, I think 2003 was the last flight, transatlantic flight from Heathrow to New York, I believe. But yeah, so yeah, and I saw a couple of other cool planes too. Like it was F-14 Tomcats, and this is all just in the pavilion. That's just the tip of the iceberg, and so there was even a 787 Dreamliner that we walked through, and it was just, me and Flight Watch were just basically geeking out and stuff. He was telling me some cool stories about working on some of these aircraft, and so that was really neat. And so we spent most of the time in the pavilion, but then we went in. There was a section, like you cross over the bridge, but right before you cross over, there was a World War II section of, or World War II and World War I aircraft. So when you go down in the World War II room, like the first sight you see is Messerschmitt Bf-109, which is one of their primary assault fighters or warplanes, and it was pretty cool. And then right across the way was a Supermarine Spitfire. Spitfire. I'm sure Lightning would get that. I couldn't remember what mark it was, but it was one of the Merlin engine eras of the Spitfire, not the Griffin ones. But yeah, so there was a Supermarine Spitfire. There was a Corsair in the back. There was a Hellcat. So all these cool warplanes of World War II. and it was pretty cool. It was just really neat to be able to see those. And I have not been to like a proper like air museum ever since like, God, it's been a really long time. Like I would say like early 2010 comes to memory, because I remember, or maybe not even that. I think it was probably like 2008 or something like that. Because I remember the last time I really went to like a big facility where all this aircraft was, like for as a museum, was the Air and Space in Virginia and in DC. So that was about 2008, and I was about 12 years old at the time. But yeah, so at this point in time, well, the museum closed at 5, so we're in there. We still didn't even look through everything, and but there was one piece that I really wanted to see. Is over in the left side of the museum, there is a SR-71 as well as a D-21 drone, and I've always wanted to see an SR-71. So we go over there, and there's the SR-71. It's an absolute gorgeous plane. One of my favorite, the fastest fighter jet in the world, or fastest aircraft in the world for that matter, or manned, or yeah, fighter jet. It's not the fastest thing in the skies. I mean, there's certainly a lot of things faster. The space shuttle, for example, all of the test flights, or all the other test flight rockets or stuff like that. But for a plane that can cruise at Mach 3 and basically gather personal information and capture satellite imagery from the height of the Cold War, I mean, it's definitely did its part, because, I mean, it got outdated pretty quick by satellites and drones, but it served its purpose. But it's just a beautiful plane, so I was happy to see one. And then there were like you see some other cool things on the ceiling too. There was a Tomahawk missile. There was a couple of other there was in the back. I think there was like, I can't remember the plane. It was the I gotta remember this one. It was the, what was the plane that was modeled after, or that Amelia Earhart flew? Someone in the, so I think Lightning Sky would probably recognize that. But there was one that was painted as a replica in the back, and I think that was pretty neat to see. Yeah, and there was also a little cockpit thing, like an open cockpit where you could sit in. There was one of an SR-71. It was pretty neat, so I got to sit in there. But yeah, that was basically the cherry on top of the trip, was going to that museum. So after that, we just went back to the hotel, and then I clocked out. Basically, went to the airport and sat in there for like 2-3 hours, because my flight was leaving pretty late. That's when I ran into Lost Disc and a couple of other people. But yeah, that was basically Everfree Northwest 2021, or my weekend traveling. Let's see how the comment session is going. I don't even remember the 707, but this does remind me of when I went to the Smithsonian walkthroughs of Concord. Yeah, so kind of got shafted. When Lightning, when did you visit the Museum of Flight by chance? Like, when did you visit? I'm interested in that. But yeah, so overall the trip was definitely a pretty well worth trip. I'm saying on a lot, as you can tell. I'm basically doing this unscripted or really any sort of direction. I'm just speaking my mind here. I tried. What was the weird thing about setting up the stream? I'm running into so many problems, like, out the gate. So one thing I realized when I was putting this stream together is my input wouldn't, my video input to my capture card wouldn't, it was getting no signal. I don't even remember. Sometime before 2005. Oh, okay. So that's a good long time ago when I was still a kid, basically. Lightning's much older than me. It makes me feel like a kid still compared to him. What was I gonna say? Yeah. So putting this stream together, I was basically trying to jimmy rig it. I'm pretty minimal when it comes to live streaming. I don't do it all too often, especially in this kind of like just speaking my mind type of thing. So I didn't get input from my capture card. So what I ended up doing was I was like, I had the biggest aha moment. You're gonna. I basically almost slapped myself over this. So I was uninstalling the driver, uninstalling the whole program as a whole. That the Elgato HD 60 Pro capture card. So I was reinstalling it and updating the drivers, restarting my computer, doing all this stuff, and I was getting no input. So I thought, what is going on? And I go back and I look at my computer to the capture card. The freaking cable was in the output, and it needs to be in the input. Are you kidding me? That moment was like the biggest aha moment I've had in a while. I was like, are you kidding me? Whatever. At least I got it up. That's all that matters. So that was me trying to figure out or troubleshoot live streaming, basically. So it is what it is. And the whole another weird thing too is why the heck when I send the stream signal to YouTube, it automatically sends me live. Like, I don't know why it's doing that. It never did that before. Originally, if you were to send your signal from the stream, or your stream key, and then your stream signal from OBS to your YouTube live stream that you're about to set up, usually it'll give you the button to enable to go live or not. But I didn't find that button there, so it instantly set me live. So that's why I did like these 3 test streams in the beginning, and I immediately shut them off. Because like, what the heck? I can't get this. Why is it jumping me into live already? I didn't even have everything set up. So that was all weird. I got to get all that sorted out. Hopefully I don't end up making those mistakes in the future if I do streaming. But I at least know where to plug in a freaking capture card now. Have it go into your input. You have failed to exist. Honestly. Basically. I thought you were going to say your mic was muted. I just realized my mic was muted again. Please, Chili Tune, if you're watching this, do not strangle me. Oh my god. That was way too funny. Yeah, so you have those aha moments. So, oh wow, we are getting late into the stream. I've been streaming for over an hour now. So, I guess this is a good time to wrap up and do a mini Q&A, I guess you could say. I didn't expect to be doing well, I wanted to do a live stream because, one, I haven't done it in so long, and there was so much I wanted to talk about. I didn't want to just do like a thread on Twitter or YouTube community post and do any of that. And I thought it was, doing it in a Discord server would be fun, but I feel like there's a lot of people that would like to see more about this. But yeah, so I thought that was pretty interesting. But yeah, it's pretty good getting back into doing live streams again. So before I wrap up, I'm gonna put like a 10-minute limit right now. Just throw out any questions about anything or anything from the trip, I guess. Yeah. That's cool. I still gotta unpack pretty much. I unpacked my suitcase, so that's all put away. I still gotta unload my bag, so this can go over here. But yeah. Oh, there's actually one other thing too that I forgot to mention on merchandise. Um, there was no con book for regular attendees. It was only for the sponsors and one of the other badges. It was like, I don't know why the heck the con book was um why the con book didn't go to the regular attendees. But on Sunday, I was walking to or was it? Yeah, it was Sunday. I was walking to a panel. I just saw someone from staff. It's like, want a con book? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I have one, and it goes into my collection. All right, question. Did you run in Bellevue? No, I did not. I did go on a number of walks, though. I walked down. The furthest I walked was probably, and I'm talking from a distance standpoint, like going away from point A to reaching point B. It was probably down in Bellevue, I guess you could say. But I did a lot of walking on Monday, mainly just from getting from the airport to walking through the museum, to just doing basic transportation, really. Yeah, I didn't do any exercise, really. I know that a friend of mine, Sam or Brownie, wanted to do some lifting because there was a really cool gym in the venue. So that never happened, though. He was pretty sore. I didn't end up doing that, too, because I didn't even bring out any workout clothes or any of that, sort of speak. Yeah, so that was that. And yep, so no real workouts, no any of that stuff. I had to reorganize all my other comic books that I have here. I just haven't stacked down here at the moment. I really need to reorganize a bunch of stuff. I need to clean up the studio or my bedroom. I gotta start. I got a couple of sessions coming up, so I got new drum heads. I'm trying to play around with these new studio monitors, which is literally where the camera is mounted on right now. It's on one of my Yamaha HS8 speakers, so that's gonna be fun. Is being able to mix on monitors. Well, really. How bad was the flight part? Basically like every flight in the past like year and a half now. Pretty bad and stressful, I guess you could say. But I just sleep on the plane, so I don't really worry about it. But the flights that I was on, they were jam-packed. And yeah, they were basically totally filled up. So going on the way there is much easier than going on the way back, I would say. Mainly just because going on the way there, it was so quick. Baggage claim was easy. I don't know what it is about Fresno Air Terminal, where I live, the airport that I run into, or that I came in from coming home. But the baggage claim is insanely slow at that airport. Atrociously slow. Very, very slow. I walk out of the plane. I go to the carousel. They only have 2 carousels because it's like a medium-sized commuter airport. They don't, like, the furthest you could take a direct flight is like 2 hours to 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours at most. But I took a direct flight from Fresno to Seattle or Bellevue or SeaTac, and then SeaTac back to Fresno. But yeah, it took so long for the baggage or the bag to come out, and I only did one check bag too, and it was really easy. And my father was the one who picked me up. He was the one who picked me up. He was just sitting there waiting, and just trying to. Kept telling him like, man, it's just taking a long time for the. the baggage claim to process. So, yeah, that really sucked. Yeah. Fresno Airport sucks. There was a lot of things kind of growing up going through Fresno Air Terminal. I remember when I was younger, when I was a kid, there was a really cool arcade that has since been filled in. Of course, there's been many renovations and stuff. They just had the most recent renovation on like adding an additional or like easier access on the like the lower gates or something like that. So yeah. So really coming out of it was just kind of a pain in the butt. Going through there though, going from there to Seattle was pretty easy. So I don't know. Take your pick. So yeah, I still gotta unpack some of this stuff here. Have my laptop, which is probably dead at the moment. So I got still got a bunch of Whirlwind stickers. Which is something I need to resort out. I need to buy some more CDs, which is something I noticed. So I sold 10 of the first batch of CDs. And I'm doing a limited edition of Escape, 50 copies with digital download included. How do you fill in an arcade? Like they filled in, like they tore down the room and they filled it in with nothing. They just made a complete wall. I guess. I don't know. Yeah, so I gotta order some more CDs. And I guess now's a good time while I unpack or do some other things and kind of wrap up the streams to talk about projects. I currently started producing the next full-length album under Whirlwind. So that's going to be fun. Just experimenting with different styles, but I do have a concept in mind. And the only concept I'll give out right now for where I'm going to is really two different routes. One of them is to basically continue the trend of concepts of things in Equestria. Not necessarily dreams, but you can call it the spiritual successor to Escape, I guess you could say. But these concepts and ideas and developments never really spawned from dreams. They came from like reading a certain fan fiction or reading a comic or taking a scene from the show and writing a song to it about it. The other concept I have in mind is writing something that is on the more technical side of things. I really want to write something that is like a hybrid between electronic music and live drums and distorted guitars, heavy guitars and stuff. So that concept is kind of in development, I guess you could say, but for the time being, I'm just cranking out song ideas on the production side, and then I'll have to figure out along the way, like, what themes and what processes I could do to produce the music. But that's about where I'm standing right now. In terms of session work and drum recordings, I'm pretty light. I'm light on session work. Please commission me for session work. But, yeah, so recording projects is pretty limited right now. Although I will say one of my musician leads at my church is building a project studio. And he was interested in seeing if he wanted to house my second drum kit, the mini kit, as I call it. He wanted to see if I can donate those drum shells. And it's a pretty cool idea. I still got to follow up on it, but that would be a pretty fun thing to do. Probably even get more hands-on experience on tracking other musicians, because that's something I do not really do all too often, at least in my workspace and environment. So, hey, John Moline, how you doing, buddy? I just looked at the chat. How are you doing tonight? Yes, I did have fun the whole weekend. Question from Tax Pony. Other than exhausted, how do you feeling post-con? I don't really have any post-con depression, to be honest. Really, I don't know what it is. I feel like the more I travel, the less post-con depression I get for some reason. And it's kind of weird because I've been kind of in a weird mental state as of late. Like if I can open up for a little bit, like for a hot second, like a lot of the people, I don't really know that many people in my area besides the ones that I work with or some of the people that I go to at church. Outside of that, there really isn't much people that I really know in the city or have a desire to really put an effort into, because they all end up moving out. Like I had a drummer I was about ready to get to know. He was a drummer to the band of Artificial Language, and he just recently moved up to the coast. I was like, are you serious? Like, I just wanted to meet this guy. So at this rate, everyone's leaving Fresno, and I'm probably going down the same route in the future. Maybe, depending on where my career opportunities go. I'm still kind of in a minor, like, question mark in my life, too, because I still get to figure out what I want to do for a career, if I want to go, if I want to work for a production company, for a church, if I want to work on building Whirlwind Studios to a freelance audio project for recording, tracking, mixing, engineering. But there's a lot of other things that come at the extent of working for a production company versus doing freelance. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the background. But anyways, back on topic is, I don't know why. I just don't really have post-con depression coming from traveling and meeting friends that you talk to frequently on the internet. I just think I've gotten used to it. Like the last con that I legitimately had post-con depression was probably BronyCon 2019. And that was mainly due to the fact that, one, I'll never be able to experience BronyCon ever again. Two, also, well, actually, I think the first one is probably one of the biggest reasons why I had post-con depression. But I didn't really have it for that long, too. It was like only a day, and then I just moved on. I got over it. The carousel was so slow because the hamster was taking a nap. Ha! That's funny. Got him. So here's the first batch, or the first stack of business cards of the new one. The new cards. So I need to reorganize these, which isn't really a big issue. But, yeah. So I'm going to be ending the stream in about 5-10 minutes from now. So any last minute questions before I officially sign off for tonight? That would be nice. But, yeah. I think, so I guess I could finish up with projects. So, another thing I could talk about is drum covers. Next drum cover. So, I'm not really planning to shoot any this week or release anything this week. I might shoot something, but I probably won't release anything this week just because I just started producing another album. Other in real life stuff's coming up. So I think I'm going to take this week off and then film all the other stuff and then release next week. So more on the producing side. So create mode, and then I can release. So, but in terms of drum covers, for those of you guys who watched my Twilight Sparkles stage theme, thank you. That was a really fun song to play along to. And it's getting me, well, hang on. It's getting me inspired to do more. It's getting me more inspired to play along to all the tracks or all the stage themes from Fighting is Magic. So that's where I think I might end up going. It's like a spin-off of Drumming is Magic, basically. I guess you could call it. But the next one I want to do is Applejack theme, because that's probably one of my favorites from the game. So yeah, that's probably what I'm going to be doing most of this week, while simultaneously coming up with song ideas for the next release under Whirlwind. So that's basically it on projects right now. I have a couple of, obviously with my band Alicorn, we're looking for a new release. Or we're looking to release our first official single as a band, under Alicorn. So that will be fun. And we'll see where that goes. I just realized I have these glasses here, so I still gotta unpack a little bit. Any last minute questions before I officially sign off? So I had these in this glasses case. I guess. Oh, the music stopped streaming. Actually, I purposely did that because I played basically all my music. Didn't even get to showcase someone else's music. So I just wanted to keep it that way. Just keep it vibey to my music. And I got a portable charger here. I can go in here. Yeah. What are all your pony plushies doing? Showing us their plots? Maybe. I have 7 pony plushies now. So I have Applejack, Rainbow Dash, Soren, Fluttershy, Whirlwind, Marina, and Octavia. Or the mini Octavia. That Octavia one is so cute. That's probably one of my favorites right now. Oh, and I got this massive business card, or massive promo card from Hyperdashy. And if you're talking about plots, yeah, that's a pretty questionable shot. Nah, I'm just joking. Who is your favorite pony plushie? Obviously, probably Whirlwind, because it's me. And he's cute. Or he's cool. He's cool. He's the vibey one. Also, here's a little bit of a tribute or a fun fact. I still have some old Whirlwind business cards. These are the last ones that I carry with me. I didn't sell them or give them out because they look pretty bad. Soren! Soren! Oh, I actually did have a marker. Huh. Alright, well, I am pretty much unpacked from this point on. So this is clear. And hand sanitizer. I'll put that in here. And yeah, that is pretty much it. So I am basically going to wrap up the stream from this point. So for all the people who joined the Whirlwind Studios little live stream, thank you for joining in. I know it is a very long stream, but just wanted to talk and share my trip experience. So Yeah, like I said, projects still working on some. Yeah, basically that's it. So thanks for joining, everyone. I'll see you later. Have a good one.